Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. I hope you're having an amazing week so far. Just touch on a few bits we're going to go through today. First thing we'll touch on is a bit about the skies at the minute. There's a few things I've noticed, amazing things, beautiful skies. I'm going to touch on conspiracy theories because it seems to be a really hot topic at the minute. I'll give you a few examples, explain, because a lot of people don't understand where the saying comes from, maybe, and the reason behind it. Again, it's just my research, just my opinion. I am not a solicitor, I'm not a doctor, etc, etc, etc. And then I want to touch on a few bits that have come out over the last few days regarding this country. Cool. So yeah, first things first. Yesterday, amazing. So yesterday I went out. I was driving down the road to a local supermarket. I think it's about 8:30 at night, and I noticed the moon. The moon last night, if you didn't see it, was crazy. And what do I mean by that? It was, I've never seen anything like it. I've seen half moons, I've seen quarter moons. This was literally like a slit in the sky. It's the only way I can explain it. I even had my neighbour from upstairs come out and I had to show him it. I'm like, does that look like a normal moon to you? And he was like, no, it don't look normal. And another gentleman stood there with me for ages and we were both watching it. It seemed to get bigger and smaller as well, which is really strange. But anyway, yeah. And also a couple of days ago I was in the park and cloud formations at the minute. I've never seen anything like it. So why am I bringing this up? Guys, just keep your eyes on the sky. When you go out for a walk in nature, just have a look. I'm not a photographer. I took some photos. I don't know how to upload the photo from me onto that. As I said, I'm not very technically minded. I know, that's hence why I don't do any edits or anything like that. But yeah, I've got some amazing photos that I shared with people. I can't believe I actually took them, to be honest. Really, really beautiful photos. So yeah, when you're out and about, just have a sit down park bench or a bench and just have a little look up at the sky. Maybe take a few photos and then have a look at them later. It's quite amazing what's going on at the minute. If anyone else noticed the moon last night, you guys are very shy with your comments, but drop something in the comment box just to let us know what time, because literally I could only see it from one certain place, which is strange, very strange. Anyway, let's go on to conspiracy theories. Right, the reason I'm bringing this up is a lot of people think, because it's called a conspiracy theory, it means that only mad people with tinfoil hats and some, I don't know, maybe not quite well in the mind. Now, I'll just explain a few things to you regarding this. So, conspiracy theory, what it actually means is quite simple. Definition of it is two or more people who believe the same thing before it's proven to be right. Now, bear in mind, it wasn't that long ago. Chemtrails, everyone said was conspiracy theory, until governments all around the world came out and said, yeah, we actually do put stuff into the atmosphere. So that's one for the tinfoil hat gang. And another one, which has been proven very recently, was the NWO, New World Order. Everyone said that was conspiracy theory. Well, it's not. They've been around for years. They've got their own website. They have meetings annually with the members of the UN. You can even go on their website. There's loads on there. So another tick for the tinfoil hat wearers. I think you know where I'm going with this. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of conspiracy theory and allegedly where the term came from. Okay? Now, back in Friday 22nd of November 1963, which was a horrible day for the world, unfortunately, John F. Kennedy was shot and killed. Okay? Now, there was a lot of theories going around then that certain elements, that it was an inside job. Harvey Lee Oswald, who I believe got death penalty in the end for it, it has been sort of proven or unproven, I'm not sure. They're trying to say he had a SLR rifle, and numerous people have tried firing the amount of shots off that he fired allegedly, and nobody can do it. So take from that what you will. The reason I bring this up, JFK, is because, again, allegedly, in 1967, so around about 4 years after JFK's shooting, 'cause so many people were looking into this and weren't convinced with what they were being told, the CIA, apparently, who was run, I believe, back then, was Bush Senior. Lo and behold, on the top 5 bloodlines. I'll go into bloodlines as well, maybe on Sunday. It depends what goes on from now till then. Big Saturday coming up, I know that. Yeah, so they coined the phrase in 1967, allegedly. I mean, you guys can check all this. As I say, I just go on to certain sites, I check it, double check it. I won't just go on to, like, for instance, an MSM site, because you go on one, they say the same thing. You can have 100 to 200 different MSM channels and everything's the same. It's all read off those little scrolly boards. That's not independent news, I'm sorry, I don't agree with it. Nothing against MSM, if you like them, that's cool. That's your choice, because you've got free will, as I always say. So yeah, around about 1967, allegedly the CIA turned round and said, we need to, like, deflect all this people having looked into certain things. So we need to call it conspiracy theory. So when we call it that, people will think it's just a load of Fruit Loops, whatever you want to call them, and they won't take it seriously. Hey, well, there you go. Oh, one thing as well. JFK's final resting place, I don't know if you guys have actually seen it, but from an aerial shot, it's actually a massive queue. There's a reason I'll touch on that now. I'll touch on it again because it's another conspiracy theory that's doing the rounds at the minute. So I just want to touch on that. Another one as well. Again, it's America. Seems to be a lot incidences, easy for me to say, in America. So this is one of the reasons, again, I started really looking into things. So the unfortunate events of 9/11, I'm sure if you're old enough, you'll remember it. I was actually in Ireland fishing when it happened. Got to a local pub on the way home. We watched the Twin Towers go down, which my heart and condolences goes out to anybody who lost family, friends, anyone who was even involved in that. It was horrendous, really was horrendous. Anyway, the reason I brought this up, I was always very sceptical. I mean, I'm a builder by trade, I'm not a great builder, I work in the sales environment now, but even I was straight away, you've got these massive steel built buildings and a little plane. You might think I'm sound silly, it was 737, 747, whatever it was, compared to the size of that building, and it's hitting it 70% up, and those buildings crash down on themselves. Now, to get that sort of effect, just go on to anywhere on the internet and just put demolition of buildings. You'll see very similar things, and it takes a lot of working out to do what to do. And if you start looking into who owned the Twin Towers before the alleged attack, that will really open your eyes on a few bits. The main things that got me questioning it, okay, was allegedly a plane hit the Pentagon. I believe no plane parts were ever found, but there was a sort of missile-shaped like hole in the area that was hit. Now, if you also look into the Pentagon, the day before, quite a lot of money allegedly went missing, and all the records for it, lo and behold, happened to be in the area that was blown up or hit by a plane, whatever way you want to see it. Another one of the planes which got taken down crashed into like forest land or wooded land. Again, no plane parts found. You can look into all of this, guys. You don't have to take my word for it. As I say, please don't. Only because I'm saying it does not mean it's true. It's just my opinion from my research. Okay. Oh, and the biggest tell for me, I don't know how many buildings actually fell that day. It's not a trick question. So a lot of people don't even realise, and this really got me thinking, there was actually 3 buildings that fell that day. And the other building, I have written it down here somewhere, is known as Tower 7. Now, the BBC, you can go back and check this, it was alleged, if you go back and check, they were doing a news report on the time, at the time of everything going off. They actually announced Tower 7 had fallen before it had. You can still see Tower 7 in the background. So again, think what you want, but this is all facts. You can check it. Don't believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to check it. So yeah, there were 3 buildings. And apparently this building came down, again, still made building. Because of the part of America it's in, I believe they're made to sort of withstand earthquakes, etc., etc. The excuse for that building come down, apparently was an office fire. A few chairs were on fire, and it brought down a metal and concrete building. But hey ho, what do I know? Right, so that's just a couple of examples for you to get your teeth into, a bit of homework if you like. Have a good look, guys. Please look into it. Please, challenge me on anything. I'm an open book. I do love it. As I say, everyone's allowed their opinion. Please don't have a go at anyone for having an opinion. Only because you don't understand it or you can't be bothered to do your own research. And please don't do what I get a lot. Yeah, your facts ain't right. And then I'll say, well, what's not right? And they'll just go quiet. Well, if you show me your facts, and then we can have a look. But normally they don't have any facts, these people. Again, I don't blame them. It is what it is. Again, as I say, I still believe it's lack of knowledge and fear why people are like that. And you can understand it, can't you? I mean, the times we're going through at the moment, it's never been seen. It will never be seen again. It'll probably be written into history books. Well, they've got to all be rewritten anyway. But that's another story. We'll go into that the further on we go. Also, yeah, touching on Q. So there's a thing on in America. It was going on for a couple of years. I don't know if you guys seen it. Probably not seen much of it over here. But it's QAnon. It's a movement. It's a belief. It's whatever you want it to be. I've looked into this deeply. I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you want to have a look into it, have a look into it. There's loads of videos out there on numerous platforms. Again, you've got BitChute, you've got Brand New Tube, you've got BoxTube, YouTube itself. There's loads out there. There's loads of material on it. So have a good look. Now, do you remember earlier when I said about JFK's aerial view of his grave was a Q? And this is QAnon. So some people believe that Q is maybe JFK's son. Now, I know what a lot of you can say. He died in a plane crash. Okay, that's cool. But also what a lot of people, have a look into that, what a lot of people say as well is that it could be high up military. Some have likened it to having something to do with President Trump. I'll go into President Trump as well. I've got a lot of love for that guy. Yeah, but again, make your own minds up. So you've got a Q at his JFK Senior's grave. You've got QAnon. And then the last Q, and a lot of people don't know this Q. I bet you can't guess where there's another Q. A couple of you probably get this actually. Very intelligent people watching this. Right, you can actually check this, and I double checked it before I was going to talk about it. Michael Jackson's Neverland. There's a hill just behind his house, and there's a massive Q there as well. Now, whenever I clicked onto the photo, I could see it, but as soon as I clicked onto it, it'll bring up these 2 dudes looking like something out of KLF with these face nappies on, goggles, all sorts, which is really strange. I don't get why they kept doing that. I know it's there. And really, really, really big one to talk about. Again, I don't believe in coincidences. Everything happens, it happens. There isn't a coincidence. Simple as that. I don't believe in coincidences anymore. Now, President Trump was quoted as saying the best is yet to come. In one of Michael Jackson's last ever interviews, which you can find, I didn't know this until I was just scrolling through things, as you do. When he left Sony, and they all thought he was not as clever as them, and he'd actually done it. So through him leaving Sony, he actually inherited half of Sony as a business. Clever guy. He actually stated at the end of that press conference, whatever you want to call it, he stated the best is yet to come. That is not a coincidence, guys. Again, have a look into it. Let me know where you get on. If you do get a minute, please just put anything in that comments, even if you want to give me a bit of stick, that's cool. As I've always said, I've got very thick skin. I don't take it to heart. I never take anything to heart. But at least back up what you're saying with some sort of facts or something. That would be great. Now, I'm going to touch on a few bits that have happened over the last 2 days in this country. So obviously we live in the UK, England, wherever we live, and anywhere else around the world. That's why I try and cover as much as I can. So, really strange one for me, bearing in mind at the minute there's a lot of smaller businesses, medium businesses going out of business because of this so-called Rona virus. The government are letting big corporations stay open. Some of them reporting upturns of up to 87%. Why can they sell some products that other stores have to shut and they can't? I don't know. I really don't know. I am not Doris. I do not know the answer to that. It's only him and the Sage lot you'd have to ask. Oh, talk about Sage. Apparently Sage are being looked into because Doris allegedly said that he feels they've got too much power. Just to talk about Sage, I did touch on them once before. Sage, do you know a lot of their members are actually only recognised and known for getting all their predictions and their models absolutely wrong, time and time and time again. Have a look into it, allegedly. Oh, and a lot of them seem to get funding from our mate from across the drink, the tippy tappy guy on computers. Again, have a look into it. It's really interesting. So the reason I brought up big corporations was I saw this thing on, I think it was in papers, internet, and even on some of the outlets. Apparently, two brothers, I think it's Isa brothers, have bought out Asda. So they bought out Asda, and they're planning on shutting a lot of them and remodelling. Okay. Now the reason I bring this up about medium businesses, everything. I know I go about here, there and everywhere, don't I? A bit like Billy Connolly when he used to do his shows. But I'll get there in the end. So what they're going to actually do, they're going to open hairdressers, nail bars and cafes. How are they able to press ahead with plans like that when Joe Blogg's down the road, who's got his own hairdressers, or Mr. Smith, who's got a micro pub, for instance, or etc., etc. You know where I'm going. How can they invest all that money without ever knowing when people are going to be allowed to get back to work, get back to their business, open their business, etc., etc.? Or will that just be another place because it's within the realms of the narrative that they'll be allowed to do that and nowhere else will? So, in other words, just getting rid of more and more businesses. So have a look into it, guys. See what you think about it. As I say, this is only my opinions. I am not any sort of top solicitor, a businessman, anything like that, doctor, lawyer. I'm not claiming to be. Again, this is just my opinion. So you don't, I actually say to you, don't believe me. But what I do say to you is just look into it. Do your own research. And another thing that's come out, there's been there's been a bit of protesting against the new bill. Priti Patel was in one of the houses. I never know which one it is. Common, I don't know. I mean, see what I mean? I'm not a politician. Apparently that's going ahead. What does that mean to us? There's some good bits in it, I'd say. I don't understand how attacking a statue can give you 10 years. And these poor women, men, girls, boys, whatever, who get sexually molested or whatever, can get like half that amount. The people performing these hideous crimes get about half the amount of time. I don't understand that. I really don't. But again, have a look into that. Another thing, so Doris turned around yesterday and he said one way that they could protect women is they're going to put undercover police officers in pubs. Is that protecting women? I'm sure a lot of what's going on at the minute is because allegedly a police officer took a 33-year-old woman on the third day of the third month And allegedly, I don't know if it's sexual attack, I don't know about that, please don't quote me, but her remains were found. And again, I'm not trying to trigger any friends or family. I feel so sorry for them. I send them loads and loads of love, and my thoughts are with you all the way, 100%. But how is putting undercover officers into clubs and pubs going to help these sort of people when, at the minute, these are the people committing the crimes? If you go on to, I actually saw a really interesting thing. If you get a minute, go onto a guy's site. It's called Crime Bodge. Absolutely amazing guy. Very, very, very intelligent. Go on here as he goes into a few bits in terms of allegedly there's a lot of officers up and down the country with convictions against them, but they're still employed. But have a look at that. As I say, I don't know, I'm not an expert on it, but Crime Bodge is amazing channel. Please check him out. One last thing, just before I love you and leave you. I'm a strong believer in sometimes we take in information without really taking it in. So we're like on autopilot. So I call it reading between the lines. I do it a lot. Because there's a lot that's said when it could imply a lot more. Like the language of legalese, for instance. So language of legalese, I'll just give you a for instance, I believe this is true, don't quote me on it, because again, I'm not a solicitor, I'm not a lawyer. Language of legalese is like law language, if you like, I suppose. Now, this is why you should always have a solicitor with you whenever you're talking to the police. Best thing to do, police approach, just say, I don't answer questions. That's your best bet. If they ever say, do you understand? Just say, no, I don't understand. I don't stand under your authority. That again is to do with legalese language. It's maritime law, okay? Common law, maritime law, etc., etc. Again, please don't believe me. Just double check it all for yourselves. The reason I'm bringing this up is because we don't listen. So I'm going to leave you with one thing today. I don't know where this has come from, to be honest with you. It's just something that popped into my head. And I'm just going to leave you with that. And see what you take from that. So, it literally is this. You listen to what you want to hear rather than hearing what you're listening to. Does that make sense? So I'll say it again. You listen to what you want to hear rather than hearing what you're listening to. Wicked. On that note, guys and girls, have an amazing Wednesday. Thank you so much for checking out my videos. If you've liked what I'm doing, just let your mates know. Please just put something in the comments down below. It can be anything, just to get the ball rolling. Have an amazing, amazing week. I will be back on Sunday. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do it about because I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot going on. Massive Saturday coming up. Massive Saturday. Guys, loads of love and light. Love you all. Bye.